Hi everybody. Okay, so we're gonna do a quick one because it's actually a pretty short answer. Jason, you've never really weighed in on the tactics used by some companies to stop free downloading of porn. I think they are anti-gay because they don't care who they hurt; they are just wanting money. How do you feel about suing people who just download a few files? Okay, so first thing, support 100%. I really do. Our industry has been attacked over and over and over again, and very often when you even call people out on their piracy, they come up with the most ridiculous reasons why it's okay for them to pirate our content and and basically just steal money from our pockets. Things like, well, I'm in the closet and if I put it on my credit card, my mom will find out. I'm like, okay, being in the closet is not a get out of jail free card. Or, well, I just can't afford it and I really want it. And I'm like, okay, yeah, cool, but like, I mean, I want, another motorcycle, but I kind of got to pay for the two, that I got now first, because I can't, I would love a house up in the Hollywood Hills, but I can't just go and take one, Our industry has really been under attack from a lot of different sides, and you'll get people on the Christian Nazi side who are all trying to shut us down, and then you got our customer base who say things like, well, they've got all the money in the world, they don't really need any more of it, and you're like, well, it doesn't really work like that. We need to protect ourselves. We need to protect our industry. We need to protect our investments. We make a product that people want, and sorry, the dogs are going ape shit right now. And Max, cut that out. We need to protect our investment. We need to protect our businesses. We need to protect our companies. We have employees. We have families. We have rent to pay. Despite all my rage, I still have a mortgage to pay. I think the porn industry also has been a huge part of gay culture, right from the beginning. Gay culture is because of its very nature, tends to be rather sexual, and because that's the most defining thing about our community is our sexual orientation. You can't really get away from that. I remember finding a porn magazine when I was about 15. And this was back in the days before wide public access to the internet. At the time, the internet technically existed, but there was no chat rooms, there was no websites, there was no YouTube, there was no It Gets Better video series, there was no Just Us Boys for me to go chat with other gay men. I was 15, so there was no emptyclosets.com for me to go talk to other gay teenagers. There was no gay, there was no Trevor Project, there was no helpline. There was just a whole lot of hate being thrown at the gay community, openly. And I mean, if you think that there's hate thrown at our community now, man, you should have been around in about 1985, 1986, because it was really vicious, and there were no good gay role models. We didn't have a Zachary Quinto. We didn't have a John Barrowman. We didn't have all of the really great guys that we now have to look up to, or a lot of the teenagers have to look up to. We had no one to reach out to. The only two gay guys that I really knew about were Boy George and Liberace, and Liberace still denied being gay. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm a huge fan of Boy George. I have every Culture Club album. I have every one of his solo records. I have Cheapness and Beauty on vinyl, okay? Like, I love Boy George. I think he's absolutely fantastic. He actually blocked me on Twitter. And I don't really know why. I'm sure I deserved it. I'm sure I said something really nasty, or I made some sort of really offhanded joke that I thought was really funny that he didn't get, or so. I don't know. I said, so boy, whatever I said, I'm sorry. I know, I'm sure, I totally deserved it, I'm sure. I have no idea what it was. I don't even know when it was, but for whatever reason, Boy George blocked me on Twitter, and that really hurt, because he was like my gay uncle role model when I was growing up. Like, I remember when I was like 17, and was kind of fuck buddies with one of the students at the university who was like in his late 20s. And now when I think back of it now, like, that guy was like a fucking freak. But at the time, it was just the greatest thing because I just had a gay role model. And yeah, he was just after me because I was, you know, a 17-year-old with, you know, a killer set of abs. But I remember when I told, like, a friend of mine and it got back to him, and he, like, instead of, he wound up making up this story that I was stalking him or something. Like, it was just awful. It was just the most horrid experience of my life. And I remember going home and listening to Victims by Culture Club and saying, oh my God, Boy George is the only other person in the entire world who, Alfred, cut that out, who understands me and gets it. And that was a pretty cool feeling. So when, you know, oh, and when I heard War Song by Culture Club, I actually, it kind of broke something in my fragile little mind, and I went and dug out all of my dad's Vietnam War era military fatigue clothes that he still had sitting around in boxes for some reason. I've never figured that one out. And like his medals and insignias and all that shit. And then I took it all and I like embroidered it with like peace symbols and patched up a hole in one of the knees with a Union Jack, which people thought was really distasteful, and it probably was. But I was 17, you know, like cut me some slack. And I threw out all of the furniture, like my bed and my chairs and all that stuff, and went down to the army surplus and replaced it with like hammocks and mosquito netting, and made my whole bedroom look like sort of like a bunker with all these peacenik things all over it and lots of pictures of Boy George. And then I just played that Waking Up with the House on Fire album to death. And none of this has anything to do with the original topic at hand, but I'm just gushing about how Boy George was really my only role model when I was a kid. So it really hurt when he blocked me on Twitter. And like I say, I'm sure I deserved it, because I get 2 martinis in me and I get really irresponsible with Twitter. So I'm sure I said something. And it's not like when Meghan McCain blocked me, because I really deserved that. I mean, like, I was messaging her and going, what did you wear when you married Kermit? You know, and I was calling her, like, Jabba the Slut. And I was, you know, asking for the cover of her book. I said something like, you know, did the elephant ask for danger pay, and that kind of thing. And you know, oh, and then there was the time that I took, because, you know, sometimes I'll do really mean-spirited videos, and, you know, like if I kind of get it in my head, and I took Valley Girl by Frank Zappa, you know, that Valley Girl song, and I did nothing but take clips of Meghan McCain talking on talk shows and synced it up with Moon Unit going, like, oh my God, like, totally, oh my God, she's like, and then I thought it was really funny. It was extremely mean-spirited, and that's why she and that's fine, like, you know, whatever, you know, when the stupid, spoiled Valley Girl daughter of, you know, John McCain wants to block me for, you know, saying nasty shit. Jabba the Slut was probably over the line, but you got to admit the Miss Piggy that was funny, and the Moon Unit Zappa thing was pretty funny too. The point is that pay for your porn. The porn industry is we work really hard, and I can tell you the last couple of months of mine have been unbelievably long hours. They've been very rewarding. I'm doing a lot of great work, and I think people are really going to enjoy it. But at the same time, the people who put a huge investment into our movies, we deserve to, you know, to make our investment back. When somebody produces something that you want, you should pay for it, and that's it. And the people who were saying, oh, well, they just downloaded a few files, nobody just downloads a few files. Everybody who starts, it turns into a daily thing where they download a whole lot of stuff, and it hurts our industry. And the porn industry is one of the few industries that gets attacked on both ends. We get attacked by, you know, the Christians who don't want us to exist at all, and we get attacked in a lot of ways by our own customer base, who seems to think that even though we produce something that they want to see, that it's homophobic of us to ask them to pay us for it. So there you go. Pay for your porn, and keep asking me questions. And Boy George, I'm really sorry. I know I'm sorry. I'm an asshole. I know that.